Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. As you guys can see, I am still not able to record on my normal setup, as I am not near my normal setup. So once again, Keek on the Mic will be recorded via phone video. So once again, thank you guys for your patience. Hopefully I can get back to my setup for the next couple of videos, but today it will be recorded via phone. So I have a very special topic for you guys today, and I feel like it's going to be an interesting conversation, as the report out of Chicago is this: Justin Fields wants to take over the NFL. And I already know what you guys are thinking. Well, Keek, all players want to take over the NFL, which is true. But obviously, we talk about Justin Fields a lot on the podcast, as rightfully so. He is the future of the Chicago Bears, which we hope he's the future of the Chicago Bears, right? And obviously, the Chicago Bears are on a mission to help Justin Fields improve this season. And as of now, that is a short-term goal for the Chicago Bears. Obviously, there's not really a lot of expectations from him in regards to what Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus expect from Justin Fields. They just want him to take those little steps forward and continue to improve. But we all know that Justin Fields has higher expectations and goals for himself. That's just the type of player that he is. And even before he was drafted, he made it well known that he wants to be an all-time great, right? He wants to be great, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it, which that should be the ambitions and goals for all players drafted in the NFL. If you're not trying to be great at what you're doing, why are you doing it? So it obviously makes sense that Justin Fields has these high expectations for himself. And obviously we talk a lot about on the podcast about how Justin Fields has a relentless work ethic, and that illustrates how committed he is in trying to better himself, and how committed he is to actually being great for the Chicago Bears franchise. And something that I really want to talk to you guys about today, right? The report out of Chicago is Justin Fields wants to take over the NFL. Those were not necessarily Justin Fields' words. Those are the words that came out of wide receiver Darnell Mooney. And that's something that I really like hearing, is when Fields' teammates praise him and share how locked in he actually is, right? And some of you think this may be pointless, right? That teammates are supposed to do that, right? They're supposed to praise their guys. But it's still really, really nice to hear teammates praise their other teammates for the hard work that they're doing, because it's easy to sit here behind closed doors, right? We're just fans. We don't know what goes on in the house hall. They can just be saying that, making up these rumors, right? Saying that Justin Fields is putting in the work. But we know firsthand that Justin Fields is putting in the work, because multiple teammates have came out and said that Justin Fields is putting in the necessary work to try to reach that plateau to be great. But it's always nice to hear teammates, right, praising your franchise quarterback. And obviously Darnell Mooney has seen this firsthand, and Darnell Mooney's also not the first guy to come out and talk about Justin Fields' work ethic and a relentless drive to be great. So while talking to Courtney Cronin of ESPN, Mooney explained that Fields isn't interested in being the best quarterback in recent Bears history or even the division. His sights are set on being the league's best, which obviously is really nice to hear. These are the exact words that Darnell Mooney said to Courtney Cronin of ESPN during an interview. He wants to take over the league, Mooney said. He's already Justin Fields. He wants to be the best quarterback in the league. He's taking the stride to be there. I got unbelievable faith that he will be there, and his success is my success. So as long as he's doing good, I'm doing good. We're all doing good. And obviously, this is nice to hear. Once again, just like I said recently in the podcast, if you're not striving to be the best that you can be, why are you playing? And that's just anything in life. You don't want to do anything half-assed, right? So it's really nice to hear, to get that reassurance. And I know for some of you guys, this video is absolutely pointless, but It kind of isn't, because Justin Fields is our franchise quarterback. He's the quarterback of the future for the Chicago Bears. So we need to make sure that he is, in fact, working hard. There's a lot of guys that just think they're good, right? And they don't need to put in extra effort. As surprising that may sound, you actually get some of those guys sometimes. But it's nice to hear the reassurance from one of his top playmakers in Darnell Mooney saying that, no, Justin Fields doesn't just want to be the best Bears quarterback in history or in the division. He wants to be the best in the entire NFL. So that is really encouraging to hear. And obviously, when you look at Darnell Mooney and Justin Fields, right, they have that very, very strong connection. And something that really stuck with me in this interview with Cronin from Darnell Mooney is this: his success is my success. So as long as he's doing good, I'm doing good. We're all doing good. Darnell Mooney knows that he has to step up too, right? In order for Justin Fields to reach that plateau of being great, he's going to need his playmakers around him to make plays. Obviously, Darnell Mooney is dealing with his own situation by becoming the official wide receiver #1. So there's a lot of pressure on him too to reach that plateau, to be the best that he can be in order to help Justin Fields. And I truly feel that's equally as important. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I truly feel that Justin Fields can take over the NFL. Obviously, if everyone has those ambitions, but yeah, it does take a special type of person to be the best player in the NFL. You're talking about constant work, right? You're just never satisfied, right? Russell Wilson has showed it. Aaron Rodgers has showed it. The reason why they are at that level, because they are putting in that constant work, right? So Justin Fields is at a very, very good start, right? He's working hard. He has that relentless drive. Will it lead into those results? Yeah, maybe not. But it's also not all on Justin Fields. It's all also about Ryan Poles making sure he's putting people around him. And like I said, I feel like he could take over the NFL, right? But doesn't mean it's going to happen this season. I think this is still a work in progress. But I truly feel that as Fields continues to grow as a player, and as Ryan Poles continues to add to the roster, I can definitely see Justin Fields taking over an NFL. And I think he's doing everything necessary to try to get to that point. And as fans, I think everyone wants to see their franchise quarterback reach those plateaus, right? Because if Justin Fields does end up being really, really good and taking over the NFL, that means the Chicago Bears are doing really well as an organization. So, of course, I would love to see Justin Fields take over the NFL. Obviously, he has all the intangibles you would want in a quarterback that can take over the league and change the game. And the exciting part about this is that Fields is doing everything in his power, right? Darnell Mooney has said it firsthand. Other players on the team have said it, that Justin Fields, it's like an obsession at this point. Justin Fields is putting in the proper amount of work to try to reach that benchmark in his career. But now Justin Fields has done his job, right? We all know that Justin Fields is obsessed, obsessed with getting better, relentless work ethic. We've heard it so many times, right? I've said it so many times here on the podcast. But now it's up to Ryan Poles to continue to build around Justin Fields to help him, right, reach those goals. Like I just said, Darnell Mooney has got to make plays. David Montgomery is going to have to make plays. Cole Kmet's going to have to make plays. And most importantly, the offensive line is going to have to get better for Justin Fields to reach his goal of being the best player in the league. He can't do it all by himself, right? This is not an individual sport. This is a team sport. So it really is on not only Ryan Poles to continue to build around Justin Fields, but the playmakers that we've already added to help Justin Fields as well reach those goals. And I feel like that Ryan Poles is off to a good start. I know that we talked about this many times here on Kick on the Mic, but I feel like he's already on a really, really good start. He upgraded the center position with Lucas Patrick. Obviously, he added a slot receiver that can make plays in Byron Pringle. He added more versatility in Velus Jones. And then you could also consider, once again, already having a 1,000-yard receiver last year in Mooney, a 600-yard tight end last season in Cole Kmet, and then obviously David Montgomery leading the charge out of the backfield. And obviously, I know the main concern still is adding to the offensive line. Obviously, we got some young young guards and tackles in the draft. They're still going to have to develop. Obviously, I still feel like in the future, Ryan Poles will still add to the positions of need. So I think this is still going to be a work in progress. Do I think the Chicago Bears are going to be terrible this year? No. Do I think they're going to be great this year? I don't think so. But I know that this is a work in progress, but I'm excited to see the finishing product because I know Ryan Poles is not done adding to the roster. So overall, as long as Ryan Poles continues to build, which I know that he will, he's not done. He's not satisfied with how the Chicago Bears roster looks. Justin Fields will have every opportunity to be great and take over this league. And that is just my personal opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Obviously, you can comment down below and share your opinions and we can have a conversation about it. But my opinion is that Justin Fields has everything personally, inside and his work ethic to reach those goals. Now it's up to Ryan Poles to do his part and the playmakers to do their part in order to help Justin Fields get to that level. So I'm excited to see what happens this season and in the future of Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears franchise. But as of now, we just sit back and relax and see what happens this season. So before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, I'll be back for our all-new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic.